Hello and welcome to Jim's Tabletop Wargaming. Today we are taking a look at the legendary Dirty Down Rust Effect paint. Just a quick caution, as you can see on the bottle does have some warning labels, so I'm going to be using gloves for the duration of the video and working in a well ventilated room. I would also take care while storing this product, always read the instructions carefully when working with chemicals. Now we have that out of the way, let me introduce this token from the Necromunda game, which is a little too clean looking for my liking. The instructions state that both the surface and the product itself need to be warm to the touch for use. So for that I have a hairdryer and I'm just going to warm them up gently. They don't need to be scalding hot, just warm, and take care not to overheat the model as to avoid warping. The rust paint needs a much more vigorous shake than your standard pot of paint. It does come with a ball bearing already in, and I initially made the mistake of not realising this due to it still being stuck to the side, so I had not shaken it for long enough. So keep shaking until you hear that iconic rattling, and then give it a few more seconds after of shaking. Dirty Down tends to dry quite quickly, so I'm applying it directly from the pot with an old brush I don't use anymore. I'm just going to pick out a few rivets and other interesting areas first. Now you can see after drying that the effect is not quite as noticeable, but that's not an issue. The paint here is reactive with water, so I can just go back in with a damp brush and activate it again. Thinning down with water in this way gives you more orange tones, while a thicker coat adds more deep dark grime. I'm also going to hit it again with the hairdryer just to really speed up and exaggerate that effect. As you can see now, this looks a great deal more like a traditional rust effect and water damage. But I am going to take it one step beyond and show you another technique I prefer with Dirty Down Rust. I take a new kitchen sponge and rip off a small piece, apply the paint directly to the sponge, dabbing away any excess if needed. I don't want to drown it in paint after all. Then I just lightly dab all over the metallic areas to give a random patchy effect which makes the model seem more realistic and less hand painted with a brush. Once satisfied, just leave it to dry and within a few minutes it will look something like this hopefully. Now there are some things to consider with this paint. Since it can be reactivated with water, it is possible to wash off or smudge accidentally. So I would recommend doing this at the end of painting and immediately using a spray varnish or sealer over the top such as GW's Munitorum varnish or Army Painter's varnish, just to maintain the coat. Here are some other examples of terrain I have been painting up and then weathering with this rust paint. All have been sealed afterwards with a matte varnish from an airbrush. It is well worth experimenting with the paint and seeing what you can create. Different thicknesses and water ratios can yield a myriad of cool results. Many of the models here have had both techniques shown in the video applied to them, and the effect works even better over the top of dark colours such as Vallejo's Burnt Red. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to give us a like and consider subscribing if you found the content useful. Let me know down in the comments if you would like more terrain tutorials in the future, and goodbye for now.